gonna be, fascinating transition.
Damn it!
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Exclamation point. This is a podcast based on a blog of the same name, because if it's not broke, why fix it? I'm the blogger in question and the moderator of this podcast. My name is Kylie, and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out the blog at couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For at Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and the unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. I am very thrilled to announce that we are producing more podcast episodes beyond our initial pilot 3. Because the panelists and I have things like jobs and other life-affirming events, however, the podcast may come at irregular intervals to start. So, subscribe to the blog or the podcast via iTunes to stay on top of brand new episodes. In any event, I can assure you that several episodes will be produced during the summer of 2015, covering shows such as Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, continuing the discussion of Once Upon a Time, and hopefully many, many more. If you don't hear your show in this podcast format, though, check out the blog. I am still occasionally writing reviews and always seeking new podcast panelists, so if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello. We have a Facebook page, a Twitter, follow us at CPU Podcast, and an email address at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com. Of course, you can always subscribe to the blog and sign the guest book or comment on posts you see. We love feedback, though not from trolls, for the record. Today we're around the water cooler, streaming originals as well as taking a first look at the Netflix original series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt! Exclamation point! This series was originally picked up by NBC, however the Peacock ultimately passed it over before airing, and the series was then picked up by streaming service Netflix. The entire first season was released for viewing on March 6, 2015 to the tune of 13 episodes. Created and produced by 30 Rock creators Tina Fey and Robert Carlock, the heroine of the title, Kimmy Schmidt, played by Ellie Kemper, best known as Erin on The Office, is one of 5 women to emerge from an underground bunker in Indiana, having been, in some respects, unwitting members of a doomsday cult. The 5 women were trapped in this bunker with their religious leader, Reverend Wayne Gary Wayne, for 15 years. Kimmy and her bunker mates emerge into the 21st century while still stuck in the 20th. Brimming with endless positivity, and after being interviewed by Matt Lauer, of course, on the Today Show, Kimmy decides to start her brand new life away from small-town Indiana by setting up in New York City. She finds an apartment with a fabulous new roommate named Titus Andromedon, played by DeFwan from 30 Rock, Titus Burgess, and an aging hippie landlord named Lillian, played by happiest of all surprises, character actress Carol Kane. She secures a job as a nanny with a ridiculously rich Park Avenue family, the Voorhees, the matriarch of which is played by Jane Krakowski, formerly aging fame whore Jenna Maroney on 30 Rock. Mostly, Kimmy finds herself full of optimism, but is otherwise a struggling fish out of water and out of time as she attempts to create an adult life for herself, having lost such a significant part of her childhood to the barren and frankly weird life of the bunker. Today, our very excited group of panelists will be rating this pilot season, as Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was automatically renewed for a second season. They will be discussing the laughable, the cringeworthy, and other first impressions of this surprising new comedy that, to this viewer, felt quite a bit like 30 Rock, except on uppers, for better or for worse. Though this show is a situation comedy, it should be noted that all of the panelists have viewed the entire first season and may discuss sensitive plot points, surprise gags, or other things best enjoyed by a first watch. So, for those who haven't watched Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt at all, listen at your own risk, as there may be major spoilers. At this time, I'd like to have our panelists introduce themselves. Everybody should know the procedure, so tell us who you are. Why did you start watching Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? How'd you find out about it? What kept you watching? And how would you rate your interest in this show? For example, you can't believe how awesome everything is. It's like having your own room with a window. Hash brown, no filter, a la Kimmy. It's as fabulous as your depiction of Simba in your one-man Lion King show, a la Titus Andromedon. It's better than A Night with the Fuzz, a la Lillian. You're really rich, and you don't really care because you're more worried about your marriage, a la Jacqueline. You're just happy they alive, damn it. It's a miracle, a la Mole Woman Cindy. You wish you could crawl back in your bunker, a la Gretchen. You're really bummed that your apocalypse cult/kidnapping scheme was discovered, but you're planning to get the band back together, a la Reverend Richard Wayne Gary Wayne. No hablas inglés, like Donna Maria. Or you'll get that, Kimmy, if it's the last thing you do, a la the unfortunately named Xanthippe. Yes, that's a real name on this show.
I'm Kristen. I first found out about Kimmy Schmidt through a news article on one of the different feeds that I follow on Facebook. Pretty excited because I really loved Ellie Kemper from The Office, and I really enjoyed Tina Fey, so I was already hooked before anything had even been produced. I think once the series premiered on Netflix, I watched it in 2.5 days. Couldn't stop. I just loved the gags and the high energy and the how well the cast works together. My interest in the show is definitely hash brown, no filter. I like Kimmy. I love it, and I will probably binge watch it once season 2 comes out.
Sounds good. Andrew?
I'm Andrew. I found out about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt when I was actually listening to an interview with Tina Fey when she was talking about writing Mean Girls the musical, and said that had to go on hold for her new show. And then I was over at my buddy Mike's house, and we were watching Netflix, and it had just popped up. So we decided to put it on and watch, and I was like, this is alright. Let's watch another one. Yeah, it's okay. Let's watch another one. A couple hours later, and I watched 8 episodes at his place. Went home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and stayed up all night watching the rest. I literally watched it in one sitting. I would say I would rate it. It's as fabulous as your depiction of Simba in the one-man Lion King show.
So you're Titus?
Yes.
That's your
I feel like there's room for improvement. It's almost there.
Fair enough.
Alright, I'm Krista, and I saw an article about a new Tina Fey show, and I'm a huge 30 Rock fan. I've probably watched the entire run 4, 5 times, and I would probably do it again. I watched all of Kimmy Schmidt in one sitting. I even had it on my calendar, the same way I do that occasionally with shows. So I knew it was coming, I knew what day it was supposed to be, and I got up at like 10 o'clock in the morning and went sat on my couch and I watched the whole thing. I really enjoyed it, but I would probably rate it kind of in between Titus and Lillian there. It definitely it needs some work. It's rough around the edges, but it definitely holds promise.
I'm Nick. I don't remember why I started watching or how I heard about it, but I knew it was a Tina Fey show. Reminded me a lot of 30 Rock, and I love it. I thought it was a funny show. I think 30 Rock's a little funnier, especially comparing season 1 of 30 Rock to season 1 of this. But I'm definitely going to watch the next season.
So how interested are you in the show, Nick? Who are you on this spectrum? That's a very important question.
It's better than A Night with the Fuzz. I don't know if it's better than A Night with Hot Fuzz.
Okay, I'm Sarah. I think I heard about this from Andrew, or maybe did I hear it from you, Andrew?
Maybe.
I'm going to go with that.
Yes.
And I believe I might have told Nick, so we're just spreading it around. I kept watching it because it was funny, I guess. I don't know.
Way to commit.
I know. Well, I have trouble once I start watching something to give up on it, too. And so does my husband.
We all have that in common.
I'm going to say I'm really rich and I don't care because I'm more worried about my marriage.
It should be noted that Sarah and Nick are married.
I mean, I'm not in real life worried, but that's where I am in the level of interest.
Okay.
I enjoy it. I certainly intend on watching it again. It's very funny, but
Okay. Just a little bit of a meh there. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well, as you all know, I'm Kylie, and I knew about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt because I always look at what's coming out in the TV season in the fall, and I knew it was coming. I found out later that NBC dumped it for whatever unknown reason. I have no idea. This is going to be something we talk about. Found out it was coming to Netflix. I started to watch it because I just wanted something new to watch, and I thought it was hilarious. I'm also a big Tina Fey fan. I'm also a huge 30 Rock fan. Love 30 Rock. I've watched that run a few times myself, and was very much looking forward to something else by Tina Fey. And it was a very similar experience once I started watching. I kept watching, the Netflix binge watching enabling thing that it does. And for me, I think I would say it's as fabulous as the depiction of Simba in the One Man Lion King show as well. And we'll talk about this a little bit. There's a lot of stuff that I like about it, but there's also a few things that I think could be improved, and we'll definitely get to that in a minute. So because this is the very first season of this show, and what has traditionally happened on the blog is that I've kind of thrown out ratings for pilots and things. And this is a scale that I use to rate. So if you all take a look at it, it's based on stars. So instead of doing the silly, how interested are you in the show by character, this is very simple. Do you think it's a 5-star show, as in you have to watch everything, oh my god, holy smokes, it's the best thing alive since sliced bread, whatever. Is it 4 stars because it certainly seems intriguing, and you're going to keep watching, but you see some possible pitfalls in it? Is it 3 stars? You're going to give it one more try, but it's about equally split, things you like, things you don't, and you want to see what happens. Is it 2 stars because you kind of gave up on it in the middle of season 1, you're kind of bored, there's nothing that really holds it for you, you're not quite sure you can convince yourself to keep watching, or is this a 1 star where you just... I don't know why you're here if it's a 1 star, but if it's a 1 star, are you ready to pass and say, never mind, this isn't my cup of tea?
I'd give it 4.5. I'm right in between. I don't find...
Half stars are acceptable.
I don't think there's pitfalls with the premise. I'm willing to watch what happens with Kimmy. The show just doesn't make me laugh out loud as much as, say, 30 Rock or any other traditional comedies, but it's very entertaining.
I'm a solid 4. They've set up some things where it's like, well, now that the trial's over, I'm curious to see where they're gonna go. How are the mole women gonna fit in? In that whole, all those people, are they just going to be gone? Solid 4.
I'd give it a solid 4 as well. I feel the show has a lot of promise. I thought it was better on second viewing. As opposed to the first time I watched it. And I can't wait for season 2 where they don't have to deal with the higher-ups at NBC and they have more free range to do what they want to do once it's fully with Netflix.
I agree. I'm also a solid 4. I definitely did enjoy it on second viewing more than I did on the first. I caught a little more of the little jokes that they kind of threw in there and the little minor gags. It'll definitely be interesting to see where season 2 goes. Usually, season 2 or 3 is kind of the jump the shark moment with some of these newer series that have been out lately. So, now that the trial's over, where are they going to take it from here?
I'm going to give it 4. I'll give it a 4 for all the things that have been said. I don't have anything new to add.
Okay.
If it got canceled, I'd be cool. But I enjoyed it.
I think I would also give it a 4. Right now, for me, I think the show seems like a very one-shot thing in the way they've constructed it. I don't know how they can sustain the storytelling long form, so, what will happen in season 2, I think, is a very valid question. They don't have all the same ingredients that they had with this first season, which to me is going to play a factor, I think. The trial and all the different things that Kimmy got to discover coming out of the bunker, all of that will have been done. So where do these characters go? Is really going to be the question. So let's talk about, since we're all at 4s, except for Nick, gave a little half star. What are the pitfalls for you? Let's look at the show and the characters and what did you like and what didn't you like. We'll start very broad-based there.
Was anyone else... I was more bored with the trial episodes at the end.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you guys are all concerned about where the story's going to go. I didn't care about it. Was the characters. I want to see Titus and Lily, and so I don't... It's whatever they could think of to do with them. It doesn't have to even continue on from her dealing with being out of the bunker, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can second that. I liked it most when they were just kind of like doing normal things or normal sitcom type things. It wasn't so much plot. So I mean, they might just move on with their lives, and Titus is apparently married, so that's fun.
Yeah, I felt the last 3 episodes felt rushed. It's like they didn't know where they wanted to go. They didn't know what to do with the trial, so they kind of just put all their eggs in a basket and just decided, okay. I feel like episodes 5 through 10 were the best when they just... It was more just a sitcom.
Okay.
I really liked most of it, but I felt like, as you said, like with the trial and stuff, I'm like, really? That's it? And then it just ended? I don't know.
Do you think they were doing a safe... This does justice to the show to end it because they weren't sure what was happening with NBC, but it also gives us some wiggle room.
They
towed that line.
Well, I don't think that they filmed the whole thing for NBC. I feel like
okay.
NBC shelved it around episode 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm,
Yeah, they stopped production.
And
on
you
it.
can kind of tell once it left NBC, and then
It shifted
went,
a little.
Yeah,
You could see the shift.
Yeah, and I preferred that the best, but then I felt just rushed at the end. I wish they ended on episode 10. I thought that was the best episode with Daddy's Boy. Hilarious.
I want you to produce that musical.
I will definitely do that.
Okay.
We were talking about that earlier, about how the first couple shows that they kind of repeat themselves and remind you of things in the same way a comedy that came out every week would. And then they kind of stopped doing that. So it'll be nice when it's all on Netflix and there's no
catching up portion.
Yeah.
I have a hard time figuring out which episodes are better because I never just watch one, whether I'm binge watching or not. If it's a half-an-hour show, I'm going to watch 2 or 3, and then they kind of put it together.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
like the Pinot Noir.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's my favorite.
I cannot look at a glass of Pinot Noir
And not think about it
I just
anymore.
start belting out seeing it. My friend works at the jam shop at the market, and they sell this like Pinot Noir jam, and I see it and I just start belting it out.
They sell Pinot Noir jam.
Oh, they sell crazy jams.
Is it named after this show?
No.
Okay.
They use Pinot Noir in it with like something else. They have like a raspberry jalapeno. I mean, way off topic, but just random jam.
If anybody wants to sponsor us, let's talk about the different characters. Because everybody was talking about, Nick, you started this part of it. It's not so much the story, it's the characters. So who are your favorite characters?
Titus.
Lillian.
And Lillian.
I'm with Lillian.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like Lillian's character or if I just love Carol Kane.
I love
Carol
I
can't
Kane.
separate that in my mind, so I just enjoy every moment she's on because I just
It's
adore
the
her.
best.
But I guess I could say the same for Titus Andromeda because I like Titus Burgess and his appearances in 30 Rock were the funniest of that series to me. So when it was him, I just love him.
See, I wasn't a fan of Titus Burgess. I didn't start watching 30 Rock till actually recently. I know I'm way behind. But just knowing him from his Broadway work, I've never been a fan of his. Until this show.
Okay, good.
And now I'm like, I love him. But
He just commits to it 100%, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
You just can believe that he's like that.
There isn't a flawed performance in the show, though, I don't think. It's all perfectly, at least directed and edited with their...
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel
I
like
think
Xanthopy
kinda
is kind of a bad actress.
I just don't like that character.
I don't like the character
did
either.
not like her the whole time, and then at the end, I was like, how perfect. Because that's how teenagers are. They will do anything to fit in, even if it makes them seem like vapid, drug-popping, skanky, whatever. But she's really a good kid just trying to fit in, and I think that's very...
She loves to watch birds.
Yeah, she has a diary. And the moment with her mom where she's like, oh, it was so beautiful, Mom, you would have loved it. I think that was written very well at the end of her character.
Yeah.
I always kind of liked her, actually, in a weird, with Kimmy, because Kimmy's still she's still a teenager, kind of.
Yeah.
So that, playing off each other, I liked that. Like, I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna, the Babysitter's Club thing, I thought was really
Babysitter's Club. Book 12.
Those were the mystery. That was the mystery series.
Yeah.
Not the regular.
Dawn's surfer boyfriend or something.
Yeah.
Mystery of the Ghost Surfers.
Yeah.
Did they... Xanthippe, it seems to me, was kind of shoehorned in to be something of a villain, quote unquote, without her being an actual villain. I mean, she had a character redemption, I guess, in the end, but did everybody like... I mean, you like Xanthippe. Sarah didn't like Xanthippe.
I didn't
Zan.
love her, but it was...
Or at least...
I liked how they worked with Kimmy.
Okay.
I liked her, and I loved, what was that, Christine Ebersol as her mom?
Yes.
I mean, hello. Once
Kristen
she
Ebersol.
entered in their dynamic, it tied it all with a little bow for
Okay.
me. You know,
Yeah,
here's
I
this
agree.
That's true.
Here's this girl whose father's in another country, her mother's moved on, and she's a little crazy and weird, and she lives with her stepmother, and that can't be easy, and I don't know. That tied it all neatly in for me.
And her stepmother is Jenna Maroney.
Yeah.
Who's afraid of her?
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
God, I would love to have Christine Ebersol and Jane Krakowski as my parents.
I know.
No offense to my parents, but
How many Tony Awards would you have in your family?
2. One each.
Doesn't Jane have 2 already?
I think she just has one for 9.
Oh,
I could be wrong, but
You could. I don't know.
Whoever's listening, Tony Award fact check.
Ring in. And Christine just has the one?
for 42nd Street, yeah.
She didn't
No,
Grey
Grey Gardens! Yes, she has 2, sorry. 3 Tony Awards in my family.
I kind of liked that I was right.
So how did we like Jane Krakowski in this series?
It was Jenna.
It was Jenna.
It was an older, even more crazier and more vulnerable Jenna.
It
Yeah.
was the perfect, exact archetype that they were writing for, and to get anyone else wouldn't make
Well,
sense.
they had
Well,
someone else.
Yeah, it was someone else
Who?
at first.
Who?
Megan Dobbs.
That's
And
right.
then, did they even film the
They
pilot with
filmed the
her?
pilot with
Yeah,
her.
they
you
did,
could
and-
totally tell that all of Jane's scenes were added in later, spliced in. Yeah, because she had another show in show on I think CBS maybe.
Jane
and it got,
did?
yeah, and
And it got canceled. Then they were able to pick her up.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you feel like if it wasn't her, you would watch that character and how it was written and think,
Well, it was written
just
for
be
Jane
Jane.
Krakowski.
Yeah.
She just wasn't available. So.
Yeah. But seeing it with somebody else, I'd have to actually see it to know if I would like it or if it would
Right.
come across the same way.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine what that would be like.
But I like this character the best of all of Jane's. I mean, she's the same in everything she does, even all the way back to Ally McBeal. And I feel this is the most obscure of them, and I think it works the best.
She's just really good at what she does.
Right. It's her shtick.
And then,
Oh, yeah, she wasn't Ellen McBeal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
she's
was.
Elaine, the secretary.
well, this one I gotta say the whole secret Native American edge was kind of funny.
I disagree. I found it kind of offensive. I hate how everything has to be so PC, but I thought that went a little too far. I don't know.
You thought it was PC?
No, I said I hate how everything has to be so PC.
Okay.
And Tina Fey is definitely not with anything, but
Okay.
I felt like it went a little too far.
well,
Like it
what-
went too far toward un-PC.
Yeah,
Okay.
more towards offensive and not funny. Usually, I mean, Tina Fey does a lot of that stuff, and it's funny. I thought that the joke was funny the first time, but then when it went on, I got kind of offended. I don't know. I do have Native Americans in my family. Maybe that had a little bit to do with it.
Well, I was surprised that the actors that played her parents were obviously okay with it because they did the roles.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted the money. It was a job. It was a gig.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just weird. It was just
it was
weird.
an unexpected twist.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever laughed out loud at any of those scenes, but
I did when she changed her name to Jacqueline from Jackie Lynn, and they were like, "That's not even a name," or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the only time that I laughed because who doesn't want to change their name and make it more sophisticated? But
There's actually been a lot of, there's been a couple controversies that came out of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and one of them is the fact that there is a lot of kind of racial and ethnic jokes, not just the running one with Jacqueline being originally Native American, but then you have Tina Fey and Jerry Minor playing the lawyers who are married, who are supposed to be riffing on the lawyers in the O.J. Simpson trial, but everything that they say is basically jokes about being an interracial couple, for example.
I hated them. They made that unbearable for me. And you have to know that I love Tina Fey, and I feel like somebody in this room is going to throw coffee on me or something. But I was like, blah, I don't need them. They're annoying me. And I feel like it wasn't...
It might have been better if it was one episode, but the trial was more than one
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, and they just... I can't even articulate, which is terrible, because this is, a podcast. You can't see me. So I can't tell you why it annoyed me, but it did. It just was almost like a bad SNL skit that kept going and going and going.
The whole trial was kind of like that.
Yeah.
I feel like they were playing to the funny, if that makes sense. Like they were trying too hard to show us that, oh, this is really funny, guys. You're going to laugh. Instead of just letting it play out like they do with the rest of the series.
It was like they were doing impersonations.
Yeah.
Not playing characters.
Maybe would the trial episodes have improved without the two of them?
No.
No, I don't. Well,
Should have been half an episode. Like the trial to just half an episode, and then
It could have been a whole
It
episode.
could have. They're only
There's
27
enough. Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I love John Hamm, and I kind of was like, okay, this can be done.
That was hilarious stunt casting. Mm-hmm. Spoilers, by the way. John Hamm is the Reverend.
No. Stunt casting, wonderful.
Yeah.
Completely perfect.
I mean, the reveal was great, too.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was surprised, too, when Tina Fey came out as the lawyer. That I wasn't expecting her to make an appearance at all.
Right.
I was hoping for it, and I was just hoping for it, but then I was kind of disappointed by it. And I think the trial kind of kept telling the same joke.
Mm-hmm.
So with them, it was the same joke over and over. It didn't build to anything, and it was the same jokes with... I think we got it right away that he could easily manipulate people, including the judge and the other lawyers. We got that pretty fast. So it didn't need to keep happening.
For 3 episodes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think, though, about the racial jokes or the reaction to it?
I didn't really...
It didn't bother me.
I didn't even notice because I was so annoyed with everything else.
You were so...
I guess I didn't... It went over my head.
Okay.
I mean, I knew that there was sexual banter between them, but I was desperately thinking back to the OJ trial and thinking, was there something... I don't know. I couldn't... It just didn't land.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like they're making these callbacks to the O.J. Simpson lawyers. That's a 20-year-old joke.
Yeah.
I mean...
Agreed.
Yeah, when most of their target audience is in their 20s.
Yeah, they're going to be millennials. They're not going to have memory of the O.J. Simpson trial, or
I
if they
still
do...
remember it.
I remember...
The car chase?
I remember...
that.
Yeah,
Well, the car chase.
I remember the car chase because it happened on my birthday. Like, that's weird.
I mean, I remember when it happened, but I wouldn't remember, other than the glove, tons of details about it.
Right.
I just remember the dancing Edos. Was that on Jay Leno, the dancing Edos?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Somebody else remember, please. Judge Ito from the trial, and he was the judge. And Jay Leno, they made fun of him. I don't know why they made fun of him or what the deal was, but they had,
People must have an interest with the O.J. Simpson trials. I mean, they're making a whole series about it.
Let's just all agree the best thing to come out of the trials was the character on Seinfeld based on that lawyer. That's all
I can agree on that because I have no opinion.
Okay. What did we think about the other mole women? Especially, there was a large subplot with Cindy and her gay husband.
I don't know. I kind of like them to explore them more in season 2.
Okay.
I should give them something. I don't know. Is it anyone else where they kind of remind you of the Duggars and stuff?
Gretchen did.
Oh my.
Gretchen did.
I mean, the whole cult thing, I guess.
Okay.
When I was reading all about the whole Duggar thing going on lately, I kept thinking back to the mole woman. I don't know. I'm crazy.
Yeah, maybe it's because Gretchen looks like... Was it Michelle Duggar she
Yeah.
was on with the curly hair and the poof and...
I think they were trying to be very careful in their flashbacks and in their conversations. Kimmy made one reference to, yes, there was weird sex stuff in the bunker. But other than that, they were really playing down the whole... These women were tortured and kidnapped and... You know what I mean? They kind of weren't...
Especially since there's been a lot of it in the news lately.
Right, I was thinking of the guy out of... Was it Cleveland?
Yeah.
And that... So I think they were trying to not make it about that, but make it about
The aftermath.
yeah, the resurgence and their triumphant return. But in doing that, it kind of, I think it was hard to develop those characters as much as they would have wanted to, and for us to see why they are the way they are, kind
And I
of.
think they also towed the line there with, he convinced, like he lied to them. He wasn't like he kidnapped them per se. He was able to basically brainwash them to convince
Yeah, I think
them to
Kimmy was
stay.
the only one that was actually kidnapped.
And then, and we saw the point where
Yeah.
he said, "You can go out there if you want," and she didn't.
She didn't believe 100% that the world wasn't a big lava pond.
Well, it was because he offered when she challenged him. He said, "Well, what if we send Cindy out there?"
Yeah.
Because Cindy, she was like the big sister for and protected her. And then when it became about somebody else, then she backed down.
Yeah, she was willing to risk her own life, but not
someone else's.
I mean, ultimately, it's a very dark place for a comedy.
It is.
I mean, so taking something horrible and making it funny, I mean, that's always going to toe the line of appropriate versus not appropriate.
Well, and that's, I think, how we got started on this aspect. It's why we didn't see as much of the mole women, because I think we were focusing outside of the bunker as much as possible, and just seeing quick little things.
Yeah, just little flashbacks here and there when it was appropriate.
Well, and this might be slightly off that topic, but I thought it was interesting that we don't know a lot about Kimmy's life before the bunker. We didn't see her mother. We saw her stepdad, who she'd never met, and a sister that happened while she was in the bunker. But
Kimmy.
And I love Tim Blake Nelson that plays her stepdad.
Kim Sherpka, who plays her sister,
Is
also
also
Yeah.
very yes. But I keep thinking maybe we'll see her mom in season 2. Like, are we gonna find her mom? Who's gonna play her mom? I don't know. I just who did you say should play her mom?
Cusack.
Joan Cusack.
Oh,
Because she played her mom on The Office, who'd given her up for adoption, and
Might be too on the nose.
it might be.
Yeah.
But is anything Joan Cusack does inappropriate? She could be in everything, and we'd all be okay.
It's from the woman who just watched Addams Family Values.
I did. She's delightful in that as Debbie. You should, if you, listeners, if you haven't checked out Addams Family Values, just do yourself a favor and run. Don't walk to your nearest video store or stream it live on Netflix.
It'd be good exercise to run.
To be
until you
fair,
found
that's a
video.
sequel, so you could watch Addams Family.
Yes.
You could, but Joan Cusack's not in it, so you gotta really. If you only
Yeah.
have 2 hours,
You gotta go for number 2.
You-
But don't go
Carol
don't go
Kane's
past
in the
number 2.
second one.
Carol Kane
There's
is
more than
in the
number
second
2?
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Curry, and there's a TV show where they brought it back. And
Yeah, anything after that.
Because Raul, what's his name?
Raul
Julia.
No, I almost said Raul Esparza. It's not him. It's Raul Julia. He passed away, so it's not him after the second one. So just do the second one, people.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Kimmy would enjoy that movie.
She would.
Yeah, it's on topic. Movies that Kimmy Schmidt would enjoy.
Ones that she missed in the bunker.
That's
that
right.
She should check out.
They weren't in the bunker at that point.
Well, it's a small town in Indiana. Maybe they didn't have a movie theater
How
that
long was
showed it.
How long?
13 years, so that would have been like,
15.
what, 2001, 15? That's still like 2000,
Yeah.
2001.
Oh.
Yeah, because she went in the late 90s into the bunker.
Okay, well, isn't she from Indiana?
Yeah.
They tend to get movies
Late.
later.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They just,
Don't know.
they just
No
want
offense,
Hoosiers,
anyone
so
from
they
Indiana listening.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what about another piece of controversy that came out of the show was the whole Dr. Franf versus Dr. Brandt. So for those of you who watched, and I think it was the 6th episode, Martin Short did a one-off as Jacqueline's plastic surgeon. His name is Dr. Franf. It's not spelled that way. I don't remember what it's spelled like.
Was it
But
Frank? That's how he said it.
is it Frank?
Something like that.
Well, I don't know.
I will use the magical Google machine.
Okay, the magical Google machine to the rescue. Anyway, what came out of that is Dr. Brandt, who makes the famous skincare line and who Martin Short's character may have had more than a passing resemblance to, ended up committing suicide. And none of the creators of the show have commented, ironically speaking. And it was kind of an in the news, gone the next day sort of a story. But I remember thinking at the time, man, that Martin Short character is really weird. And probably more weird than some of Martin Short's other characters. How do you guys feel about that?
I didn't know it was based on a real specific person in any way, shape, or
Sleepy
form.
Bailey looked the same.
There's...
It's an exaggerated version.
It's a very exaggerated version, and I don't know, I kept comparing it to his Arrested Development character, who
Uncle
is
Jack.
ridiculous. Maybe even more ridiculous.
They were both kind of gross and weird.
Yeah.
Uncle
and
Jack
then I
was
also-
gross and weird.
And it made me feel gross and weird about both of those characters.
I also compared it to I was like, oh, this is the 30 Rock version or this is the Kimmy version of 30 Rock's Paul Rubens character.
After Spaceman?
No, Paul Rubens was
The, with the porcelain hand,
from Habsburg.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of, that it reminded me
Prince.
of.
That's from me, Jenna.
I didn't find the character all that funny in general. It was what it was. It was
Yeah,
Short.
I forgot spoiler, listeners, Kylie sends us the questions so we can think about them. And when I got her list, I was like, I do not recall this character at all, so I went back and rewatched the whole series, of course. But I was like, oh yeah, that happened. I didn't even remember it. But I don't know who Dr. Brandt is, so maybe that's why I just am...
Yeah, from reading, he's very well known amongst certain populations and areas who go see him. But I don't know, in the Midwest, I doubt anyone knows.
I don't know. I mean, I'm only familiar with the name because I did use the products at one point. I got them like in a free little sample kit from Sephora at some point in time. But watching it, I just thought it was just an over-exaggeration of what, a plastic surgeon is. Like how in comedies you usually see them they're overdone on plastic surgery. They take themselves beyond a very attractive level to this crazy, I've only had surgeries level. And so I thought it was just an over-exaggeration of an exaggerated stereotype. I didn't even make a connection until it was brought up elsewhere.
Just thought it was some sort of generic guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the magical Google machine has told me that it's Dr. Grant. And he's had so much plastic surgery that he pronounces it Framp.
Ah, right.
That's actually funnier than just being Framp.
Yeah. So now that we know that,
They say
it's
it.
more, yeah.
It's
And
quick.
Google.
They're pretty quick.
Yeah.
All I have to say about it is if they shouldn't have done it, if people think they should have made fun of him, then nobody should make fun of anyone. Then everything's off limits. Like Saturday Night Live shouldn't exist because all they do is parody and over-exaggerate people.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad if that drove somebody to commit suicide, but you'd have to think that there's probably some other things going wrong for him, so...
Yeah, it's more than just a singular issue.
Yeah.
Okay. But very sad nonetheless.
I'm sure we won't be seeing that character again, though.
Yeah, probably
Probably
not.
not.
But I don't think the show will be hurt by that either.
Since some of us forgot that he even existed.
I'm sure Martin Short was against stunt casting, and he was just there for the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I love Martin Short, so I'd be happy to have him back, but alas.
Maybe in a different way.
So let's talk about Kimmy's love interests.
Yeah, that...
She had kind of the dude who plays video games.
That was easily one of the funniest things I've seen on this show, I think.
Was the video game?
Was where he was playing the game and talking to his bro, and she interpreted it. I'm like, that is what you worry about.
Troll the respawn, Jeremy.
Troll the respawn.
Troll the respawn, Jeremy. And then there's Dong. The You what?
I like Dong.
You liked? Oh, how can you not like Dong?
Can I get that on a shirt? That'd be great.
That'd be something totally different. So I actually, when I was watching it, and this is one of the questions too, he immediately made me think of Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles. Did anybody else have that impression?
Second.
Remember that movie enough?
That's like one of the only 80s movies I've never seen.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Andrew. I don't believe I've seen that movie in its entirety. So
OMG, guys!
Good.
OMG. So, listeners, if you're going to watch Addams Family Values, I think you best get out and watch 16 Candles. This is one of the Brat Pack movies.
John Hughes.
Yep, John Hughes directed
It's
it.
probably the
Molly
only Doctors I've
Ringwald
never
starred. There was sort of an overly offensive Asian character named Long Duck Dong. He played a foreign exchange student that ended up staying in Molly Ringwald's house. He was very happy to be in America and feel up all the girls, and had a weird girlfriend, and all I remember is an exercise bike scene, but that's besides the point. Anyway, Dong is also... There's a Dong on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, who is in her GED class, and eventually helps her to learn math while she helps him to learn English. So they kind of germinated a little bit of a romance there, and then at some point he asked her for the favor of marrying him so he could not be deported to Vietnam because there was a raid on the restaurant that he was working at. So what do we think about that character?
I just have to ask, does anyone know if Kimmy actually is Vietnamese for penis? Because that's what he says about her name.
I have no idea.
But I don't know if that's true.
Kristen's visiting.
I believe that.
I will go to the magical Google machine this
I almost
time.
don't want to know because I'd like to just believe it's true.
Okay, well, I'll find out, but I won't tell you then.
No.
Nick will never be able to turn that down if you have the answer.
The whole Dong.
Da-dong dong.
Dong, 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 dong.
I'm not I don't have any Asian blood running through my veins, but I am related very closely to some people that do. My stepmother. So I don't want to be all like, oh, I was so offended by it. Because I wasn't really, but it's like, he's good at math, needs a green card, works as a deliverer. It's just very stereotypical. Like, can we have something else for him? I mean, he seemed like a nice guy. I don't know. I was a little bored by it. It just was very much like...
Which goes back to the Native Americans and the Native Americans and Andrew's family.
I don't want to be, I was so offended by it. Right. I wasn't, but can we do something else? Like, does it have to be that?
I just have to say about being offended by stereotypes. Watch some cartoons from the 30s and see what those offensive stereotypes
That's true.
and compare it to now. It's not, we're not playing into negative stereotypes on this show.
I understand. Again, I wasn't like offended by it, but I just can't. People, I don't know.
Would you have preferred the other boyfriend to stay around more?
The
I
British
feel like
guy?
No, not that guy.
I liked the daddy's boy guy. I thought there was a lot of room for comedy there. You mean the tutor guy?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I think they'll get. I think
he will probably show up more
The
in
younger
season
brother's
2.
tutor?
Oh, him.
Yeah.
He was Troll the Respawn, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Control the respawn, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Because
There's the English guy, too.
Yeah, there's the English guy in the middle. It went. So I don't remember. I think it was Charlie.
He's not English. He has his parents made him.
He's from
Right.
Connecticut.
He's from Connecticut.
The middle guy has an English accent, but is from Connecticut.
Yeah.
The first guy is the Troll the Respawn, Jeremy. So essentially, she thought that he was saying, let's take it to the next level, meaning we love each other, when in fact he was telling his dude bro guy that when he was playing the video game to go to the next level in the video game. So when that misunderstanding came to light, she was like, and this is over, right? And he was like, yeah. And then she said, Troll the Respawn, Jeremy.
But he still worked. They
still work
together.
But he just wasn't. They didn't do anything with that.
No.
Awkwardness.
I just felt like him and the younger, the boy. I feel like they just kind of disappeared.
A little bit.
Maybe
Oh yeah.
It was just, I don't know.
So hopefully season 2.
Maybe.
Do we know
Maybe.
which? I'm sure
In
they
season
say.
2, she'll probably be an only child. Xanthropy. I just feel like they just got bored with the boy and they were like, no more. I don't know. Just me.
I really struggle with with streaming when they release a whole season at a time. I struggle with how much actual time has gone by. So I don't know. Is it 13 days, 13 weeks, 13 months? I have no idea. And I'm sure they say it, but it's a lot different when Friends. It's basically another week has gone by and then a year is over. And season 2 could come back and it could just be
A few hours later.
Yeah.
They sometimes do holidays, and that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do that in Kim? Were there any holidays?
I feel like there were...
No, there were birthdays, but no
Yeah.
holidays.
Okay.
So we alluded to earlier the fact that NBC passed this show over. Do you think that helped or hurt the show?
Helped.
Helped.
Yeah, that worked out.
Agreed.
I think so. That's kind of consensus. It helped it. And as Andrew said, next season, NBC will have fully pulled out based on whatever contract released the show. So theoretically, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is only going to be amped up because on Netflix, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Right.
I think they'll still keep it like wholesome though. I don't think they'll start swearing and stuff like.
That's not
No,
Kimmy.
that's not Kimmy.
Exactly, but even other characters. I feel like with most
Yeah.
Netflix shows, like you gotta add in the nudity and this and that. I don't think the show will be like
What
that.
shows
Yeah,
are you watching?
it's not going to go the
Orange is the New
HBO
Black?
route.
Orange is the New Black. I mean,
Yeah.
the sitcoms don't have a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff.
That's true.
Is this really a sitcom or is this a serial comedy?
It's a
Because I don't think it's really a situation.
The
It
situation
started
is...
situational, but then it
Yeah.
kind of rolled over into something that continued over episodes. So I don't know.
A lot of sitcoms have evolved. The original sitcom, everything was the exact same, almost as if the previous episode didn't happen.
Exactly.
That was
It's
very
getting middle
formulaic.
men every episode.
Yeah.
I feel like this show,
This
you
is
can't
not-
just watch
it's-
one episode and get the whole story. You
No.
need to
Yeah.
watch them in order.
Yeah.
Well, especially with all the flashbacks that they do that kind of drop the little hints
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you...
So I consider it a serial just black comedy. Like, in the same realm as, like, Showtime shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we could just call half-hour comedies. I don't know, sitcom, I don't know if it's...
Well, now, no matter what, if it's a half hour, it's a comedy. If it's an hour, it's a drama. According to, like, Emmy rules. Just, that's another point. Like, Orange is the New Black is considered a drama now because it's an hour long.
That's so weird.
It's so weird.
You can't have an hour-long comedy.
So a show like Ally McBeal would have been a drama.
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on the
Orange is the
season.
New Black.
And Glee and all those shows would be considered drama now. It
That's
just
so-
got changed
that's
last
wrong.
this year. Yeah.
Orange is the New Black does toe the line, though.
It is
It's
dark
a little,
comedy.
It's a dark comedy.
Yeah. Which
A
is the best
dramedy.
kind of comedy.
It's just a dramedy. It's a little drama, a little comedy.
Yeah.
What was the question? I don't know where. Yes.
Well, I think we answered it, which was did NBC passing it over help or hurt the show? We
Oh,
both
yeah.
think it helped the show.
I think NBC is kicking themselves in the ass.
They're
for-
struggling.
I think
struggling
I
in
totally
general
agree with
right
that.
now.
I don't understand. I'm going to get his name wrong. I want to say Richard. Maybe it's Robert Greenblatt.
Robert.
Robert Greenblatt. He was so brilliant when he turned over Showtime and made Showtime awesome. And then he goes to NBC and kind of just screwed them
Yeah,
up.
I mean, there's hardly anything that's left over on their schedule for next year. So
They have
maybe
no,
a ton of
they have
new.
no comedies. They're all
They're
like,
all dramas
yeah,
and
because they had The Blacklist that did really well. So now all their shows are like that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and there's a lot of talk about that right now. I don't know that Bob.
That was ABC, and they got canceled.
Yeah, I don't know that Bob Greenblatt single-handedly destroyed the network. I think he was walking into a downward spiral, but did
Yeah.
nothing to stop the downward spiral.
well, and when you're on a downward trajectory, it's going to take a couple of years to stabilize and then get back on an upward tick.
Well, he fixed Showtime, so I think they brought him thinking he'd do the same thing to NBC.
But Showtime has different rules than NBC
Yes,
does too. Which
yeah.
is,
no rules.
The
Yeah.
pay exactly. The pay networks have much more latitude, whereas the free networks are. I mean, that's so true. I think, and I totally agree with you, Andrew. I think NBC is kicking themselves and will be kicking themselves for a while, especially given the fact that they are the least rated of the major five
No.
networks. They're the least rated.
CW.
CW's actually got some higher ratings because of some
Really?
longevity shows.
yeah, yeah. I mean, how bad is that? That the CW is.
Hey, they got some good shows. Jane the Virgin, that's a good show.
It's the networks aren't what I mean.
That
NBC used to be where you went for some of the best comedies, from
Yeah.
Cheers to Seinfeld, Friends, and now
Well,
Must see
Grace.
TV.
Yeah. Comedy Thursdays.
And
And
now
even
it's-
like Parks and Rec and some
Yeah.
of those other
Office.
ones.
Office.
But if this show was on NBC, would it have been as successful? Or would have gotten canceled after like the 4th episode?
Probably
well,
canceled.
It probably would have gotten canceled because I don't.
It's not the viewership that they normally have now.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, back in the day, it would take time for shows to get their footing, but now you have to have the viewers right away.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't
Because
have
it's
that.
about advertisers. It's
Yeah.
all about the
It's all about the money.
advertisers.
But CBS has Big Bang Theory, and now The Odd Couple is huge.
Because they were smart and they paired it with The Big Bang Theory.
Well, plus I think The Odd Couple was filling the vacancy that 2.5 Men left, because even though I thought that show was not funny ever, somebody did.
I mean, my parents loved 2.5 Men.
So does my mom.
They're addicted to The Odd Couple. I got them into it because I'm a Matthew Perry fan, and it's Neil Simon, theater kid here.
Tom Lennon.
So,
I just feel like
and
old
Tom,
people,
Tom Lennon. I love him. I know.
I just feel older people in general gravitate towards CBS no matter what. They can put anything on the air and it'll get 15 million viewers, where the other networks can't do that.
I just can't believe 2.5 Men was 12 seasons long.
I can't either, and that's what I'm saying.
It's
I think
not better than MASH. That's crazy.
I think that Odd Couple fills that void. CBS really rides a brand. Like, I just think that they stick to what works for them, and they just keep recycling
still
that.
in the air, if that says it.
Yeah.
And they're still renewed for more seasons. Because it's awesome. That's why.
Some people like Big Bang Theory too.
See, I would love to start watching that, but I need to watch shows from the beginning, and
You
there's
do.
no way to watch that show. It's not on any streaming service.
It's how the digital
You have it?
versatile
I have DVD.
disc.
We have almost all of the
Let me
series.
borrow
I think we
season
don't
one.
have the last.
Okay, let's come back to Kimmy.
And see.
But if Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was going to be on network television, NBC was not the right venue for it.
Yeah, I don't
Period.
think so.
But
either.
Tina Fey's probably in contract with them.
Might
You know,
be.
once
Yeah,
they do,
they get the first look of her projects.
Yeah.
Or basically because she has the relationship. I mean, she's worked for that network for
Right.
Well, that's
How
what
long?
happens. If you do a Saturday Night Live, basically, if you do something afterwards, it has to be for NBC. And what's his name has to produce it. Lorne
Lorne
Michaels.
Michaels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was on NBC, I wouldn't have watched it. And that's just not how I watch TV anymore. I like Big Bang Theory, and I wait for it to come out so I can watch it at my own time without commercials. I want to watch The Odd Couple because I love Gary Marshall. Even came back to help make it great.
Yeah, our
Just gonna
generation
wait
is
for the season to come out.
We're the ADD generation. You know, we want things without commercials. We want to watch it when we want to watch it, not be limited to when it's going to be on the
Well,
network
Netflix
schedule.
is changing that.
It's a big factor in changing it, which is great.
No. I mean, they're
They're gonna add
releasing
commercials?
things weekly, as opposed to binging it all at once. Because, like, their new show, which is awful, don't watch it, I can't think of the name.
that helps.
It's like everyone over the age of 22 dies. And it's a town full of, like...
Sense8?
What?
Sense8?
I don't know. But, no, because people are buying or signing up for Netflix, getting their free month, binging what show they want to watch, and then canceling it, and then keep doing that when they want to watch a new show. So now Netflix is releasing episodes every week. They're not releasing the whole season.
But you could still wait until they release 10 and then binge
And then
if
binge.
you
So I don't know if
want.
That's what I do with TV.
People
DVR
just keep making
everything
up new email addresses and stuff?
Yeah, I guess. It's a big thing
Trying
for
to get
everyone.
tips.
I don't mind paying $8. Are you kidding me?
I
It's
think
only
what you're
$8
hitting
for no commercials, and you could watch these shows whenever you want.
I think what you're hitting on is what Kristen said. It's a different generation of watchers. They don't want to have to tune in Wednesdays at 8:30 to get their show every week.
Yeah.
So it's I agree. I don't think it would have really survived on NBC. I think 30 Rock did, but toward the end it started to lose viewers because people just Netflix started to get big and people's loyalties went a different way and.
I feel like I still, even with 30 Rock, just watched it on Hulu the next day.
Did you? Yeah.
DVDs. I held on to
We
DVDs.
we did. We bought all of the 30 Rock. I have them all, and
People basically just gave them away on Amazon at a certain point.
yeah.
So that's important to note, anyone who's listening who might be of a network type of person, or cable subscription company, or anything like that. This is a conversation that we'll probably keep having on this podcast, given the fact that I think most of the panelists that come on this podcast kind of watch TV the same way, your moderator included. But let's get back to Kimmy Schmidt. Couple more questions. Let's talk about the finale, minus the trial. So we had a few things that kind of happened at the very end, which set up dominoes. That's what Kristen likes to say for the next season. First, we have Dong marrying that random old woman from the GED class. We have Titus's video God, whatever that was. We have Jacqueline deciding she's going to go home to see her parents. We have the mole women and whatever else they might be doing. And then it was really kind of open-ended as far as Kimmy. It was talking to Dong and then the show was done. What do we think about the finale, where things are going, and what do we want to see next season?
Do you think Lillian will continue just a road trip with Jacqueline? Because I kind of like having
I
them
think
together.
so. They're going to be like BFFs next
Yeah,
season.
and I think that it's a really interesting dynamic too. I really enjoyed their road trip during the last few episodes.
The only thing I liked during the trial, really.
Yeah, was their car trip. It was awesome.
Titus is going to get his 15 minutes of fame, and it's going to go to his head.
He already got it.
Well, I think they're going to explore that in the second season. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Plus he has a wife.
What are we calling the one gentleman who made the theme song, who was warning Titus?
The busted up Morpheus?
Is that his name?
That's what Titus calls him.
Okay. I think...
He's kind of like a soothsayer.
Yeah. First of all, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I think
the Guides of March.
I think his predictions are going to come true with Titus, and then Titus is going to... I don't know.
Oh, well, they already kind of did. You know how
Yeah.
he said that, his dentist's office came after him for cleaning, and then here comes Titus's wife, and she's gonna. I hope that she goes back to New York, because that's gonna be an interesting dynamic if she moves into the apartment with him and Kimmy and Lillian and
the wife.
Yeah.
I assume they'll probably go through some sort of tumultuous divorce.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting.
Well, what if his divorce becomes a new reality show that somebody watches on the internet? I mean, I don't know how that would happen, but I can just kind of see it happening.
Yeah, or maybe Titus will finally get his big Broadway break that he's been fighting
we
for.
can all hope for that. That would be awesome.
Are you sure it isn't funnier to watch him struggle? That's the comedy, right?
I think he's funny
just
no
like
matter
Broadway.
where he goes.
So I think he could be in a show and then all the foils and he gets locked out of the theater or he can't get in.
Or he could be in a show. He was trying to try out for the Spider-Man Broadway sequel.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He'll end up joining like the Real Housewives of New York or something.
But isn't that very close to the reality show that he was on, 30 Rock?
Queen of Jordan?
Queen of Jordan.
Defwan.
I've only seen him in one episode of that. Like I said, I just started it. I'm on season 3.
Okay,
keep
you just
watching.
when you get there.
Disclaimer, Kristen has not watched 30 Rock, period.
Oh, no.
What's wrong with
It's
you?
on my list!
I just started
We'll move
3
it up.
4 weeks ago.
But you watch once. That's usually
When you
there's
get to
nothing else
him
watch.
as Defwan, you're going to be like,
Okay.
because he...
Nick, no judgments.
And he's not even central to anything going on in that
not at
show.
all.
He just, you're like, what is this person? But it's good. And then he's the judge of America's Kids Got singing.
Well, I wonder if it'll be
With
less funny
Jenna
for you because
Malone.
you have, like, that was just
Yeah,
icing on the cake in the episode. Now you've had 13 episodes of it's a very similar character.
It doesn't matter.
What did you guys think of Dong's marriage?
I think it was just a little. They were just telling us that it happened.
Yeah.
And
So we'll
I
see
think
how-
it'll be interesting for Kimmy
Mm-hmm.
because she thought maybe it was going to go somewhere. And
Right.
I think, because she's 29, right?
Yeah.
So she missed all of that whole dating 20s thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now everyone, well, I assume everyone that she still now knows is, getting married and whatnot, and she still would like to have, like, her first boyfriend. So she's in a weird place for almost 30.
Yeah.
But for the record, he did propose to her first for the green card marriage.
He
Now,
did,
isn't
but
that romantic?
It wasn't, but it was more like, help me get my green card so I can stay.
That is
You know.
true.
true. But then she went to the trial and didn't answer his phone calls,
Right.
so he
and
had
so
to,
he had to go with the second option, which was the only other single woman that he
or
knew.
he'd be deported, right?
Yeah. So in a weird way, he did it for Kimmy.
That's true.
I don't think we've seen the last of him. I don't know if they're gonna get a relationship because she may be weirded out that he's married to somebody else, but he's
I feel
definitely
like
not going anywhere.
I feel like they're gonna explore the relationship next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, because he didn't. There's not gonna be any jealousy with his crazy old wife
Well-
who thinks she's wearing an invisible hat or whatever.
Yeah, but and also the wife is very much all about the wedding night too, so she's kind of treating it as this is the real thing, baby.
Kimmy will come save them from that honeymoon. Or something. I don't think they won't go through it.
I'm sure she will. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to see next season?
More Titus music videos. Pinot Noir was probably the highlight of the season for me.
That was a great moment.
Pinot Noir and Daddy's Boy. Are
Yep.
the two
I
best
love
things about the
Daddy's
series.
Boy.
Yep.
Yep.
I could totally do with some more Broadway star cameos too.
There were so many.
There were so many, and I mean,
Keep them coming.
yeah,
More
Keep 'em.
Christine Ebersol.
yes.
So I think we all said it at the top of this, but are you going to keep watching?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Consensus.
Just gotta wait a whole year.
Well, it's only
That's what I
till
hate.
March,
March, 9 months.
March,
Just 9 months.
and we'll have Orange Is the New Black in a week to.
That's true.
That's
You'll
keep
have
us
that for a
busy.
day.
Oh, that'll take about 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little longer.
I'm gonna force myself to just watch 2 episodes a day. And
How can you do that?
I don't know. I'm gonna
Well,
try it.
he has
I
a
have
job.
I hope
Yeah.
Aubrey sings in one episode.
I had a job the first.
Anything else about
Always that.
Kimmy?
She's fine.
Kimmy,
She's fine.
thanks for the
Memories,
laughs.
so.
Hash brown, no filter. That
Hash
is-
brown, no filter.
I hear that quite a bit.
Yes.
I feel like some of the one-liners ended up being more popular than, like, I know people who's, like, use them who haven't even watched all the shows.
Well, I think the same thing kind of happened with 30 Rock, too.
That's true.
I mean, a lot of people
I
were
want to
saying
go to
blurg, and I want to go to there, and didn't
Yeah,
even know what
I've
it was
said
from.
I want to go to there, and I've never watched an episode, so.
Me want food.
You got cheesy blasters.
I don't know if that one caught on us.
Well, I use it.
Okay. Well, I think with all of that said, this will conclude our podcast on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. As we have mentioned, the next season will probably not come out until next March, although Netflix has not officially announced a premiere date, probably because it is several months away. However, if we do record another episode, that's probably when we will record it to digest season 2. Thank you very much for listening to the Couch Potatoes Unite ! Podcast. Stay tuned for additional episodes. We will be recording next a follow-up on Once Upon a Time's second half of the season. Until then, keep watching, keep listening. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
That's gonna be, fascinating transition.